2020, this is round robin play, Pool A. Stephanie Boyle, Saskatchewan serve, Iman Shaheen of Ontario receive. Best of 5 games, love all. Hello. Hello. Four up. One up. Switch Ontario, 7 up. One out. 8 up. 9 up. 10 up. Game ball. Ontario leads 1 game to love. Oh, yeah, Ontario leads 1 game to love. Oh. Ontario, 2 love. 3 love. 4 love. 5 love. 6 love. 7 love. Left side, please. Left side. 8 love. 9 love. 10 love. 8 ball. 11 love. Game to Ontario. Ontario leads 2 games to love.
Well, we also laughed when we were
It's kind of nice.
Oh, so you were in the Carlton season ticket?
Yeah, that was
What did you do? What time did you come over here?
Ontario leads against love. Come on.
Like when I was coming in, I was walking in, you could see it. It's fine.
So they can stay for the whole thing because he wanted to go.
Did you win? All right.
Yeah.
Four love.
Two of her brothers.
Five love. One five. And out. 6-1.
But it's really good for well to be around.
Oh, well, Theo said yes. His dad was, but he needs to do. He said it's already. And you think Dale is next year?
7-1.
If they allow my dad, like, to catch up.
8-1.
You got 1 year left, eligible.
But he's like powerful.
Other one. That's Ontario. 2 games to go. Go back.
There's the Hollie. She's the number one in comparison. You watch her. She's got some smart decisions. Hey, Mom. If I get one, you have
1-2.
Gars, tu vois-tu ma bague là? Ok, je m'en vais. Ah oui, j'ai fait une couple de fois là. Et on leur parle.
Virginia Women's Team Championships 2020, it's round robin play in Pool A. These are the position 1 players. Pool Todd, Saskatchewan serve. Hollie, Naughton, Ontario to receive. Best of 5 games. Love all. That's all right. That was good, actually. Can we play that?
Test 1-2.
Left side. Out. Thank you. Out. 1, 2.
Who did?
And out 3-1. And out 2-3.
One more.
5-2.
1-2 test.
Six two.
It would be like one of the guys I worked with. His son was in Thailand through airplane. 8-4. No. You don't know.
9-4.
The people that are more like a rule have everything is next to him.
10-4.
Hey guys, welcome to the Canadian Women's Team Squash Champs of 2020 in Gatineau, Quebec, hosted by Squash Shootaway. I got here beside me Steve and Neil, the coach at the OAC Squash Club here in Ottawa. What's up, Steve? How's it going?
Great. So here we have a mouth-watering match. Many people have been waiting for this match the whole weekend between Todd and Hollie Naughton, two very experienced players in Canada. The first game was pretty straightforward for Hollie, but I think Nikki Todd is just trying to figure out the court, and we should see an interesting second game. What do you think, Dom?
Yeah, actually, figuring out the court, that's pretty good because it is a bit of a smaller court, but yeah, it's going to be good. We got Nikki that's world rank at 64 right now, with Hollie that has a career high of 29 right now. I think it's a career high, isn't it?
Yeah, she's actually I think she won her last PSA or actually women's squash professional event. She's firing away on the forehand side right now, which is probably her stronger side.
What? Well, we are one game in, but what do you think the outcome of this will be? I think Hollie has a couple more wins over Nikki.
Yeah, Hollie looks right now the stronger one, but you know Nikki's a fighter, so hopefully she'll battle in a couple of long rallies and get a couple of good winners, maybe a couple of lucky shots. But it's going to be a long one, I think, this game.
Yeah, the ball looks bouncy too. It's hot in here. There's a lot of people behind the court, so it's probably warming up the court pretty well too.
Yeah, that forehand's still very strong. She stays in front of Nikki right now, so that's kind of what's happening.
Yeah, well, Nikki doesn't seem to be sending much on Hollie's backhand, eh? A lot on the forehand, unless it's Hollie that's keeping it on the forehand.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on the forehand, on Nikki's backhand side with that forehand. Unforced error.
Left side, 3-1 left bar, 2.
Yeah, I think the secret right now is for Nikki to settle down, maybe get in some long rallies instead of shoot. She's been shooting a little bit, going for the nick.
Yeah, there's been a couple of mistakes there from Nikki that just didn't need to happen, it seems. Honestly, she's kind of crumbling here in the second game. 5-1, she's going to have to do something pretty good to turn this around. But these two have played so many times, like they must know each other's games so well by now.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say close to 10 years. The experience is there.
Yeah, yeah. Hollie's tee positioning seems to be much higher than Nikki's. It looks way more aggressive. If you look, her step is just like a foot closer to that tee point than Nikki's. Probably forcing Nikki a couple of mistakes just like there. 7-1.
Yeah. Too many tens in this game, that's for sure.
Mm.
Well, after seeing a man almost triple bagel, this match right now is at 8-1, 9-1.
It's looking good for Ontario so far. They would go up 2-love. They'd win this round up, unless Nikki can pull something off, which would be fun to see.
Hello, 2-9.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't take much to turn a match around, to get a little more confidence, you know, win the long rallies, make less mistakes.
Second mistake there. Nikki got it right where she wants it. She always, has to find something to break that rhythm for Hollie.
Hello, 10-3, game off.
Doesn't seem very good. Any hopes of comebacks here for Nikki? Oh, that's a good shot too.
Yeah, that's kind of the pattern she needs to play, stay in front.
Yeah, well, like as we saw before, Hollie's tee positioning was so much higher than Nikki's, which I think might make the difference for why Hollie got an early lead in that game, and it's a stroke. There you go, 2-love for Hollie now, and Ontario is one game away from winning this roundup to, I think, for the gold medal match, or to make it to the semis. Is this the semis?
Well, she's at least consistent with the score, 11-4, 11-4. Let's see how the game 3.
Yeah, squash is all about consistency, right? So when you look at it that way, Nikki's not doing too bad.
Well, again, seeing the first 3 points, I think Nikki had a little bit more confidence, and then she made 2 errors going for kind of these, winning shots, and I think she needs to be a little bit more patient in game 3. What do you think?
Well, first, she's going to have to find that tee positioning before Hollie does, because once Hollie takes control of that tee, she's going to be cutting everything off. And with these smaller courts, these bit narrower courts, I feel like Hollie can just pick everything off from if Nikki doesn't find those right angles. And that's going to be really, really hard for Nikki to turn that around.
Yeah, I'm impressed with Hollie playing very aggressively today. She's volleying many shots that people probably would let go a little bit, and just playing with a lot of confidence. And I really see the difference right now. Hopefully, game 3, she can maybe turn it around a little bit.
Yeah, we definitely want to see more squash.
I don't know.
What do you think of those bright light shoes that Nikki's wearing?
Well, I hope she's paid a lot to wear them, because I'm not sure I would pull it off. Maybe you, Mr. Wren, would pull the lime off, but I'll stay with traditional white. That
It fit well with the Saskatchewan outfit. Actually, they had a top green with a yellow bottom, which was a perfect blend from the top green to bottom skirt, and then the shoes that are lime green.
Yeah, it's something that the men don't necessarily pull off in their wardrobe.
Let's see Rodriguez pull that off though.
Yeah, one of the local legends, Rudy Rodriguez.
Oh, Miguel Rodriguez.
Okay, my bad on that one.
I think Rudy would pull it off.
All right, let's see Nikki dig deep here. Let's see some long rallies, less mistakes, and hopefully make a game out of it right here in game 3.
I think she's going to have to get to 5 first if she wants to get any hope into this game, because she's going to have to get that confidence back from being down too low. And if she can find that 5 points first, she could probably give herself a pretty good chance to keep it up in the second half of the game. But second mistake here.
Yeah, I see Nikki not playing the front corners too well. I know she plays a little bit more doubles than singles right now, so I think her movement's a little off.
Yeah, well, she's doing pretty well in the doubles. Actually, she's.
I think she may have taken the #1 spot. She may have claimed the #1 spot in the world ranking for women's double.
Yeah, I'm seeing that here in front of me. That's pretty incredible. Wow.
Well, you just missed an excellent backhand drop shot there. She cut it in nicely. Hopefully
that up.
2-all. Here we go. Game 3.
Oh, that's a great shot from Hollie. It's that perfect cross court there that just clipped the neck. Oh, another error.
Well, I've lost count at about 8 or 9 so far, but that's really the difference.
Yeah, since the second game, it's not been too nice here for Nikki. Those errors are really putting her in that hole there. 4-2 down now. That was honest of her. Good on her. Clinical from Hollie. Well, must say I think it will be a quick one between these two. 7-2 now for Hollie. Looking like a little bit of a more exhibition match now.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were looking forward to this match and maybe a little bit more of a fight, a little bit of a competitive match. This is probably easily under 15 minutes, so a clinical display by Miss Naughton, and well, Nikki's still got a couple of more matches left, probably in the playoffs, but looks like Ontario looking pretty good.
Yeah, it's clinical. Hollie's not taking any prisoners here.
Well,
that's a great shot.
That's, as we say, the last nail in the coffin. Joey Barrington would probably say something a little bit more outrageous.
I don't think we can match that. Nice one.
Yeah, probably a taxi there.
All three. What happens to the CPA schedule? Are you allowed to play?
Here we are at match ball for Ontario.
Really clinical. See if she'll keep that consistency. 11-4, 11-4, and 11-3. Right then, so that's the second match between Ontario and Saskatchewan today. We'll have our third match, which will be Molly Chadwick against Neekha Patel. This should be pretty good. Molly's doing so well right now. She's number one Canadian in the junior girls of under 17. She's having a great year. She had a couple of good results, especially at the US Open and Canadian Open, and I think she won her Canadian champs last year. She's really coming through from. She was a bit younger than me from my junior days, but really, it's good to see her coming through now.
Well, it's a great experience for both Iman and Molly, 14 and 16 years old, representing Ontario, playing women championships. I remember I think I was 19 when I represented Quebec my first time, and I was overwhelmed by a lot of stalwarts, a lot of veterans, and I think your dad may have played on the Ontario team, but I wasn't fortunate enough because he played number one.
What year was that?
1989.
Okay, yeah. I'm not really sure with the dates of my dad being playing from Ontario, but probably, yeah. But we also have Chadwick from Alberta. That's another junior. That's number 2 in the ladies U17. So it'd be a pretty good matchup to see Molly versus Jenna, how that go.
It's actually pretty exciting to see these girls that it's kind of the future of squash. You have Sam Cornette, who's obviously had a great career representing Canada and Ontario previously. Seeing the next generation kind of nip at the toes of these regulars, it's great to see. It's great to see Canada keep up the momentum. Here we are with a little flashy top again through Saskatchewan, and
they always have good gear. Even at the Canada games, they always had the best gear.
So Molly, 16 years old, looks fighting fit. She's a strong girl. Really an overall game, plays every shot, and very fit also.
She can really hit that ball hard too. It can be a strong point for her.
Play will begin in 30 seconds. Canadian Women's Team Championships 2020 is round robin play in Pool A. These players are playing in position 3. Hollie, Chadwick, Ontario to serve. Nikole, Patel, Saskatchewan receive. Best of 5 games.
Welcome back to the Canadian Women's Team Squash Champs 2020 here in Gatineau, Quebec, hosted by Squash Shootaway. We're still in the third match now of this roundup between Ontario and Saskatchewan. Here we got Molly Chadwick from Ontario playing Neekha Patel from Saskatchewan. And what are you expecting here, Stephen?
I don't know too much about our Saskatchewan foe here, but I think Molly's just a little too strong. She's just developed an all-round game now. Very experienced. Travels a ton with her junior career. So that was, mind you, that was an excellent shot by Patel.
That's a great shot by Hollie.
Yeah, there's a lot more in her repertoire I see so far. She can shoot from all sort of four corners of the court.
Definitely can't leave her set her up on that tee because she's going to put that ball away, just as we saw like 2 rallies ago. Oh, there we go. It caught the side wall, but still a okay shot, I guess. It's a winner. Yeah, Molly's shots seem to be going in a bit more precise than Neekha's shots. She seems to just be controlling that tee there, just running her around, though she just lost this rally, but overall.
Well, she's not on the board yet, Molly, actually, so there you go, her first point. Oh,
no, it's 7-2. Oh, I didn't read that too well. It's a little funny on these little bit narrower courts here at Sportec. Your footing, your footsteps to the ball have to be just a little different out there. But yeah, just a little different because the ball shoots out from the side wall a lot quicker than you expect. If you don't have any preparation for it, it's going to catch you by surprise. A couple of years ago, when they had their women's team's champs here at Sportec in 2017, we were seeing a lot of the ladies actually serving out in their first couple of rounds because they were still getting used to the narrower courts. But I think they're more aware of it now.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. The first game for Molly, there was an excellent shot by Patel there. She's still kind of in the first game, feeling each other out. I'm sure they haven't played each other that much.
Hit up, 10-5, game on.
There you go, first game down for Molly. Yeah, there's a bit of a difference of level here. Molly, though she is younger, seems to have a bit more of a developed game here. Her shots seem tighter. They seem to be going in a lot more precisely than Neekha's. Neekha's shot seems to be like clipping the side wall, coming out in the middle a little bit more, which gives a lot of opportunities for Molly, and not moving her off that tee enough, which is probably the main thing. That's the main difference between the two.
Yeah, there's not a lot of weakness I see in Molly's game so far. She hasn't been really tested, so hopefully Neekha can get in the long rallies, maybe hit a little bit tighter and not expose the court as much, and give Molly a couple of looks for shooting in the front.
Molly back on first, seems confident now.
Sometimes tough to play the match knowing that the score's already, you're down 2-0, and it doesn't, it's kind of a rubber match, doesn't really mean that much, but hopefully she can gain a lot from just finishing up the match, playing with experience.
It's true. Ontario has already taken the win here, 2-0 over Saskatchewan. So this will be a bit more of a fun match, I think, to just fill up the time. Though it is nice to see there is a full crowd out there. Like almost every seat in that little stand is taken. So it's really nice to see everyone in the squash community here in Ottawa has come out to well, a bit less than everyone, but yeah, there's quite a bit of people here. It's really cool to see. We need a bit more visibility. That was a good serve there from Neekha.
Yeah, she's hanging in there in game 2.
Yeah. Another loose cross court coming into the middle.
Well, here we are at 3-3 in the second game. Patel's making a little push. Kind of like to see that from Saskatchewan right now.
Thing though with these games, it's we'll just have to see if Patel can actually keep up in the second half of the game, right? Like often they get up to 5-all together, and then the stronger player seems to start getting away with it. So it's going to be really up to Neekha to actually try to keep up with Molly into that second half of this game if she wants to give herself any chance. Oh, that's a good get.
Yeah, she a nice strong lunge. Yeah, Molly shows again, she can move well, hit well. I just want to see her challenge a little bit more and see what happens. But
see another
5-all, exactly as you called it. We're in midpoint. Let's see what happens.
Especially those shots in the middle. Neekha's going to have to really work hard to not give her anything. Oh, there you go. Unforced error there. Oh, that's a good shot. It's where we need to see this game go a little bit tighter in the second game. Honestly, if this gets tight in the second half, I'd like to see Molly get into that extra gear, show what her junior experience can do to these adults. Shot in the middle, yeah, Molly's all over that.
Yeah, the tide has turned right now. Some loose shots, poor returns.
Here we go. Molly's taking it 9-6 now, breaking away a bit. Another shot in the middle, 10-6.
Volley, Nick, one of your little shots there, Dom?
What's that? But the volley, it's a fun shot to play. Definitely satisfying when you get it. Alright then, 2-love now for Ontario. We're going to go into the third game, and I'd love to see Neekha actually pull off a little bit more into this third game, see if she can get a bit closer with Molly. She's getting better, like 11-5, 11-6, the trend's going upwards, so if she can get used a bit to Molly's game and not send too many in the middle, I think Neekha could give herself a good chance to actually win a game here.
Well, she was up 6-5 in the second, and a couple of unforced errors, but like you called it, the experience of Molly plays probably almost every single weekend playing tournaments across North America and even the British Open Juniors. Her experience is really showing just in the latter stages of the games now. Yeah, maybe on paper she might be the strongest number 2 in our championships this weekend.
I'd agree with that. Though Jenna would be Chadwick from Alberta will be a good contest for her, because she's right behind her in the rankings, number 2 in Canada, and Molly's number 1 in the girls up under 17. So see a match between them would be pretty great. We also have a couple other juniors in the Quebec 2 team. There's Jasmine Bouclair, which is number 15 in Canada right now, and the girls under 19. And we also have Joelle Vega, who is number 20 in the girls under 19. So whole range of juniors here. It's great to see. Adult juniors. It's really fun.
Well, it's great experience, and maybe this championship they won't pull off a couple of scalps, but maybe in the future they'll be the ones we'll be picking. Well, Molly's pretty steady in game 3. She's already up 2-love.
Oh, that's a good shot. Back of the service box. Seems just casual. Those shots in the middle, Molly will just step all over those.
Well, with the narrow courts, Dom, hitting a straight return is probably your better bet than hitting a cross court to someone who volleys so well as Molly.
Yeah, it's a lot harder to get that ball past people on those cross courts, because you have to find that perfect angle, and it takes a bit of experience to find it, which is a great home court advantage, but. That's another good shot.
Well,
actually, she clipped the top of the tin down.
Yeah, that was a 10.
I did see that.
Well, it's now or never here, Dom. Game 3, down 6-2. But Molly just, basically has another gear.
Oh, here we go. Send her away. Good shot. Hollie. Perfect second bounce in the neck.
We are at match ball to sweep Saskatchewan 3-love.
Here we go. 3-0 for Ontario against Saskatchewan. We have... Who's up next? You know? Let's see. We got now... here we go. We got BC now coming up against Alberta. This should be a really, really good game at 4 o'clock. We have a bit of time between that now, so tune back in at 4 o'clock, guys, and so we'll see BC against Alberta, which will be a pretty good game, which means it's going to be Danielle Letourneau from Alberta playing Nikole Bunyan from BC, and then number 2 Alberta Jenna Dweek versus Grace Thomas, and number 3 will be Sarah Hall from Alberta versus Lindsay Sedgenson. I hope I'm saying it right. From BC. I'll see you at 4, guys. See you then.